Well, it's another beautiful morning and it's another visit to the cinema today. Wind's up a little bit, which is nice though, because it gives a cool breeze on what's a cloudless sky and no doubt going to be a scorcher. And we're off to see The Flash. Oh, really don't know how this one's going to turn out. First of all, nervous. Not a big fan of Ezra Miller at all. Not a big fan of what he's been doing. But seeing Michael Keaton back as Batman for this, you know, I want to nerd out. But let's just say the critics have been a little bit savage this film, and from what I've seen from people I know who have seen it, or what I've heard I should really say, not looking too good. So again, it's one of those ones where I'm going in with some trepidation. So, initial thoughts coming out of the cinema. It was a film. It was a film. We'll talk about it more when I get home. As I got back home, just stretching the legs, going for a little walk, I gotta say that really disappointed. I truly did want to like this more. I hoped it was going to be better than it was, and sadly it didn't live up to that expectation in the slightest. For what is clearly a swan song for the remaining Snyder Cut actors, this definitely went out more with a whimper than a bang, unfortunately. That doesn't mean that everything was bad. There were elements of the film that I liked, but for the most part, well, enough musing. Let's get into the details, shall we? Hi everyone, it's Az here from HeelvsBabyface. Another week, another visit to the cinema. And after all the films that I've been seeing in recent times, it's amazing and surprising for me to say that the best one that I've seen is Miles Morales Beyond the Into the Spider-Verse Across From It, which admittedly is a bit of a weird title, but I might have had a little bit of creative license with that one.
This world must die.
No! As ever, these reviews will be spoiler-free, so I won't give away any of the secrets. I'll keep to general observations. So first things first, let's get into the cast of characters. And Ezra Miller is the lead of this movie. He plays himself twice. Oh joy. And the first 45 minutes to an hour is just a deluge of Ezra Miller. So if you're not a massive fan of the guy, it's going to be a pretty rough ride. But if you are a fan, then maybe you'll find things to enjoy. I have to personally admit, I found it rather tough going, particularly as his younger self was dumb, to say the least.
Wait, he's Batman?
You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts.
Michael Keaton isn't in this film as often as he really truly deserves to be. When he's in it, he shines in every capacity, dominates the scene, not overpowering the actor, but he's the guy that you're always paying attention to, whether or not he's in Bruce Wayne or Batman guise. And the fight scenes that they have him partake in are absolutely fantastic. This is Batman, and it's wonderful to see, and I don't mean this in a derogatory way at all, an older Batman, a Batman that you could place in the Dark Knight era of his career. He's absolutely fantastic, and it just makes me lament the fact that we don't have a Batman Beyond film where he really could have taken that role of Bruce Wayne, taken over a mentorship of Terry McGinnis.
It's not Clark.
My name is Kara. I will help you.
Whereas I always knew Michael Keaton was going to nail it, the surprise package for me was Supergirl. Having been very cautious of her introduction when it was announced, her performance is actually excellent. She's really good. She plays a very subdued Supergirl when she's with the gang, but when she's let loose in the heat of the battle, shall we say, she goes ham, and it's great to watch. The surprise character, she put a smile on my face, and I was invested in her short because, unfortunately, again, she has way too little screen time story that they had lined up for her.
So you're saying you could travel back in time?
But Bruce, I can fix things.
Other than that, the only other noteworthy character would be a cameo by Ben Affleck at the beginning, signing off his tenure as Batman under the Snyderverse guise, and it is a badass exit for him, even if most of it is actually CGI, and at least he got a little bit of time to shine in a very cool opening segment with him at the beginning of the film. In terms of storyline, it's not particularly complicated, even though we do have a multiverse element to it. As we've seen from the trailers, Barry goes back in time to save his mum, and that causes the timeline to alter, and he has to team up with a younger version of himself to rectify it, meeting this universe's Batman and this universe's Kryptonian along the way. It doesn't need to be overly complicated, and it isn't overcomplicated. Whereas Michael Keaton and Sasha Calle put in very good performances as Batman and Supergirl respectively, it's ironic that Ezra Miller just doesn't even seem to remotely hit the mark as Barry Allen in any of the iterations that he plays in this film. It feels very dialed in, it doesn't feel like a truly realized characters, and they do go for yucks a lot of the time. Sometimes they do hit, a lot of the time they don't. And that just makes certain scenes, which I think were overextended beyond their welcome, to miss the mark a lot of the time. And his relationship with Iris, I don't even know why it's in the film. The actors do not have any chemistry with each other, and it doesn't particularly go anywhere anyway. Something which could have found its way onto the cutting room floor and reduced the running time of this film, which it needed to do by about 20 minutes or so. But even with a very weak script, which fails in a lot of places, the set pieces that they do place into the film make up for it, as there are some very dynamic and well put together ones. However, characters like Michael Shannon Zod are once again criminally underused and underdeveloped, and they certainly should have spent much more time developing the character of Zod in this film. So when he does make his entrance, just comes across as a wee bit two-dimensional, relying on the work done in Man of Steel to do the heavy lifting for this film. Regarding the multiverse aspect of the film, I'll just be honest, it's pretty embarrassing. The CGI special effects are absolutely appalling. It looks like you're playing a PlayStation 2 video game half the time. So when the cameos come along of some heroes from yesterday and some which maybe we never saw on the silver screen, they come across as cheap, soulless, and just corporatized efforts to pop a reaction from the audience because, oh my god, look, it's reference. There didn't seem to be any true love, true respect for that side of things. Otherwise, they wouldn't have looked as appalling as they actually did. I know I've been pretty hard on this movie, but I gotta calls it how I sees it. And I am disappointed because I truly did want to like this film more. Because when the film did something I enjoyed, I really actually enjoyed it. But it seemed to focus way too much on things I didn't enjoy, namely Ezra Miller's. They didn't add anything really to the film, and the characters that did had way too little screen time. That said, I didn't hate the film. I thought it was okay. It has flaws. It has huge flaws, but it does have plus points and stuff which I thought was going to be awful, which actually turned out to be pretty good. So it's fair to say that this is a middling film at best, and I would give it a, I think, generous 6 out of 10, probably 5 to 5.5 out of 10 in reality. But seeing Michael Keaton having a swan song as Batman, and also having Sasha Calle surprise me with a really good iteration of Supergirl, they sort of bumped it up in my estimations. So it's goodbye apart from Jason Momoa to the Snyderverse characters. Some will be disappointed by that, some will be happy to see that. But I think personally there were some really good casting choices. They just had really poor material to work with. But this movie certainly came across as end of an era material, with James Gunn's universe to come and whatever that may bring. I'll see you in the next video. You take care. Bye for now.